Hi, my name is Dylan Arvella and I'm a freelance writer / journalist from Wollongong in New South Wales. For the last month I've been travelling around Australia in my 2003 Honda CRV, and I'm a really big fan of van tours and SUV setups videos on YouTube. So even though I'm pretty primitive when it comes to video and whatnot, I thought I'd put something together so anyone that's interested in perhaps travelling around Australia or any part of the world themselves in a Honda CRV or similar could get some ideas potentially. And with that, let's get into it. So I've pulled off the side of the highway about 150 kilometres north of the South Australian outback town of Coober to give you a look at my vehicle. And there it is, the Argonaut 2003 Honda CRV, which I picked up a couple of months before I left on this trip. I picked it up for around around $5,000, and it's a pretty good car. I was pretty happy with the purchase. Basically, I would have loved to get a Pajero or a Prado or something like that, but unless you're going to fork out that sort of money, unless you're going to opt for one with, say, 500,000 kilometres on it, you're just simply not going to find it in the prices that I was looking for. And with that, this one has had 250,000 kilometres on it. So yeah, pretty happy with it. Let's have a look inside. We'll go. And this is where the magic happens, right in here. At the moment I've got a goon bag full of water. Since I'm in the middle of Australia, I needed to pick that up in Adelaide. Actually, Paul gave that to me. I'll send the video to him, so cheers for that, Paul. Let's have a look in the middle. Basically this is just where, you know, the little knickknacks are. Headphones, chapstick, a little squash ball that I fill with coins for laundry mats and whatnot, wireless earphones, chewing gum. Down here is where my cable management occurs, my chargers for cameras, phones, lights and whatnot. I've got a little medicine chest under there. And in there I have my Telstra phone, notepad, diary, journal, a little tin that's got some band-aids and whatnot in it when I go out for bushwalks and that sort of thing. And above that is in here is where I put my receipts and whatnot, which I sort of try and manage that every few days. Installed the Bluetooth head unit just before I left because obviously I wanted to listen to music and podcasts from my phone while traveling around the country. Yeah, so that's that side of things. In the door, nothing too amazing. Masks in case I need to go somewhere which requires masks, or if the COVID situation gets worse. Charger, portable charger that is, reusable bag. Going to the other side, this blue thing is basically a curtain that goes across and attaches to the hand thingo up there and goes across when I'm sleeping in the car. Just on there's a road train going past. I'm just about probably 100 metres from the highway. Just one of those stretchy cord things that, of course, I've forgotten what they're called now. Mum made that for me. Thank you, Mum. Jacket, water bottles, hats and whatnot. This thing here was actually, I wanted to make a desk to work with. Ultimately, I haven't really used it as a desk. I use it just as a table, just as a shelf for when I'm driving. Obviously, hats, sunglasses, nibblies, which at the moment are mandarins I picked up in Port Augusta for about $5 a kilo. Fantastic. But that just pops in and out, which is sensational. We'll take it out for now. There's my little Guardian Wombat plastic bag. Under here I've got my hiking bag, newspapers. I'm a journalist, love newspapers. Probably the most fascinating one is The Islander, which is from Kangaroo Island. I interviewed Stan Gorton there a couple of weeks back. I'll link my article on him in the description below. He's a very interesting character and he puts together a really interesting paper. In there is my bookshelf, some matches. What have I got in here? I've got a couple of Lonely Planets. The book I'm reading at the moment is Prisoners of Geography, which is a fascinating read. I picked this book up in Melbourne from Jason Goldsmith. He's a great fella, and I'll be reading that very shortly. Let's chuck that back in. We'll go to the back section. So I've got these window coverings, which are about $5 from Kmart or the Reject Shop. You can get them all over the place. Don't quite fit completely over my doors, but essentially the purpose of them is for holding these. Let me get these. They hold these reflectors in at night for privacy and whatnot, and keeps it nice and dark inside the car itself, and they just pop out, fold up nice and easy. So let's have a look inside. It's a bit of a mess, well, because that's just how it is. That's my chair, take that out. That's a simple fold out camp chair, nothing too special there. There's a picnic rug. That's a wet bag that I use for my dirty clothes. Garbage bag, Birkenstocks. That's a jerry can which I picked up from Adelaide a couple of weeks ago because I needed one to go through South Australia, through the outback. That's 20 litres, costs about $20 from Bunnings. In here's a backseat sort of organiser thing, $5 from Kmart. All my handkerchiefs, love hankies. Bags. And this is an interesting thing. Not interesting, but I think it's pretty essential. Tree spray, something that my grandmother swears by. Basically, I use it to make my car not smell too bad. I just spray it once or twice a day, and it sort of does the trick. It's an antiseptic and whatnot. On the floor, this grey thing is a mover's rug, which I put down just to protect the bottom of the floor from getting too scuffed up. And then I'm going to stop this for a second and make the bed so you can get a better understanding of how it sort of works. So I have made the bed, and basically how it works is I've got 3 pieces of foam, which my mother helped me cut up to size, and there's another one sort of under there, under the red blanket. And I have a wooden platform which extends out once I lean that passenger seat forward, and that sort of tucks into there. You bring the blankets down, and in the end you've got a bed which is good for about 6 foot, 6'1", so I'm 6 foot. And yeah, plenty of room, and you'll get a bit more of understanding of how that sort of works when I show you from the rear. And that's on a wooden bed, which I've got to say I didn't do too much in the way of making it. I got help from my best mate Zach O'Neill and his old man Steve, so thank you very much for helping me put that together. And basically all I got for that was a pine board from Bunnings and some leftover wood that I got from another friend, Troy, his mate. And it's got these doors. So underneath there's my clothes. In the middle I've got shirts and whatnot, underwear and whatnot at the front, shorts at the back. So let's go to the back of the car. Actually, we'll show show you from the other side. Yeah, so that's basically the bed from the other side, and I've got another thing that goes in there, which is just here. Hiking shoes, some oil, WD-40, always helpful. My toolbox, it's gone all the way down here, fantastic. Some nice red dirt will get in the car that way. What do I have here? Basically this is Velcro, always helpful. Velcro tape to you know, hook stuff up around the joint. Hammer, I use a couple, like when I'm camping and need to hammer the awning down, which I'll show you in a minute. This stuff, which I haven't really used that much, but basically you see it in kitchens and whatnot for gripping. Tape measure, pliers. This is for whenever I get a flat. Cable ties, very helpful. Can get you out of a bind in many situations. Some string. Far out, the flies are going crazy at the moment. Matches, gloves, yeah, so all exciting stuff. You never know when you'll need it, so it's best to have it around. So this is the back of the vehicle. First of all, this is a fold-out table that my grandparents had in their garage. Pretty good that it, pretty convenient that it just sort of sits in there. Let's take that out for a moment. I'll show you the back. One of those reflector thingos that can go in there, which is pretty simple. It was actually a bit of a pain in the ass to get that cut out. Fly, insect repellent, mosquito, itchies, first aid soap, and let's have a look in here. So the unexciting stuff would be $2 Kmart thongs for when I need to go have showers and public showers and whatnot. I've got this, is that in focus? I've got this spray bottle, which is basically what I use as a vanity. Because water is such a precious sort of resource, I fill this up and I use it for when I'm brushing my teeth or cleaning dishes and whatnot. Because basically, you know, it gets it wet but doesn't use too much water. There's a 20-litre water jug. And here's a fold-out shovel, which is, yeah, fold-out shovel. That little white thing is an alarm for detecting like butane gas and whatnot if there's a leak, because I've got a butane cooker, which is what I'll show you shortly. My kettle, that up here. Rechargeable light, which is lantern, which is, I think it was from Kmart, $10, fantastic. I've got this, all these elastic bands, which are very useful, and those two bags are toiletries, and in this black container, which it'd be a pain to get that out, but basically that's where all my pantry is, and I've got, yeah, my food in there. And also next to that jerry can is also an esky inside there, but I haven't actually used that esky yet because I'm not really intending on getting too many cold foods, because I can't really keep them cold for too long. So let's look at the bed situation again. 2 pillows, obviously. I've got a blanket on each half to cover the mattress itself, which I got for the foam mattress was probably about $90 all up. And then I've got this Black Wolf sleeping bag that my dad got me when I was about probably 12 or 13 years old. I just remember him saying this will be a sleeping bag you can keep for ages, and God bless him, he is correct. Inside that I've got the well, it's not inside at the moment, but that's a sleeping bag liner, which is basically what I clean and wash. So you don't want to be sleeping in a sleeping bag, just a sleeping bag for weeks on end, because that will be disgusting. And this is what I picked up in Adelaide just last week. It's a $6.50 quilt from Big W, with a $7 cover from the reject shop, just because I thought it might get really cold in the middle of Australia, but we'll see. Last night I just had that on top of me. I slept on top of the sleeping bag and with that in Cooper Pedy. Before that I was only really in the insert with, and sometimes I put the sleeping bag over the top, but in terms of it being cold, I've been pretty lucky so far. Let's push that back. Underneath, another door. I've got cold weather clothes, jumpers, track pants, jeans, paper towels. That's got a couple of pegs for the awning. And then, I'm just trying to hold this right. This is my cooker, which I'll set up in a moment. There are the butane canisters for said cooker. Plastic bags for cleaning, basically sponges that I've just cut in half because you don't need a full sponge to clean stuff up. And then over here I've got little let me get close to that, little capsules for washing my clothes, because I don't really like using the detergent that they have at laundromats, and then some concentrate for cleaning plates and whatnot. One of the more interesting things that I've got would have to be this in here, which is basically an AIMTOM, as it says, multi-purpose power station, which I got for about $200, $250 off Amazon. And what it is, this plugs into your car to charge and whatnot, and you can also charge it from a normal power outlet or solar if you get a solar panel. You can plug your laptop in, which is why I needed to get it. Charges your laptop like a MacBook Air or whatnot, probably 2 or 3 times, and then you can charge your phone probably 10 times. And yeah, it's been fantastic so far. Little light as all these batteries seem to have on it, but I don't use the light that often. But yeah, pretty happy with that purchase. Do recommend. I'll put a link to that one in the description. I sound like an influencer now. Let's pop that back. Small matches. So here is the cooker that I'm using, which is the Inferno 360. I got it from Anaconda for, I think it was about $50 or something like that. It's pretty nifty. You pop your canister, which are probably about $5 or $4 from Kmart, and probably last 5 or 6 days, depending on how much you're cooking, obviously. You pop that lid off, take this out, unfold it, and then it simply screws on to this, screws onto the canister. This folds out. This, you turn this thing to let the gas come out, which I'm not going to start it at the moment, but you get the gist. Little pot or kettle or whatever you need goes on there. You turn that, put a match in, lights up, and yeah, it's pretty good. I was looking at the Jetboil, but to get the equivalent sort of thing, you're looking at probably 2 or 3 times the price, and this does basically the same thing, so I'm pretty happy with it. And also, just before I forget, this is a little battery operated fan that I have. Pretty exciting. 3 different modes. It's good to circulate air while you're in the car, lying in the car, so it doesn't get too stuffy. yeah, and that's rechargeable via a micro USB cable, which is, yeah, pretty convenient. I also should mention this wooden shelf that I have here. Initially, or for the first part of the trip, this went all the way across to here, and I used to have in that when that was the setup, I slept with my head towards that seat. But basically, after a few weeks, I decided I wanted to have my head down here because the roof's a bit higher, it's a bit darker than close to the front. So what I had to do is cut it off. This board here was the one that went across to make made a leg, and yeah, basically it's just a sort of a divider of the back half of the car. Can put my phone and whatnot on here when I'm sleeping. Let's have a look at my awning, which is a Dune 4-wheel drive awning, which I picked up from Anaconda on special for about 90 bucks. I think it is 2.5 by 2.5, so I'm not actually going to take it out right now because I'm infested with flies. Comes out probably around here. I'll overlay a photo so you can see that. I can put it up in about a minute, 90 seconds, take it down in about the similar time, and ties down really easy. I've had it up on some pretty windy pretty windy nights, and it hasn't been a drama. Yeah, really good investment, and thank you to Alex who helped me bolt that into my roof rack. I noticed a lot of people have them on the passenger side, and pretty much everyone that any awning that I've noticed has it on the passenger side, but I wanted to have it on the driver's side because I'm getting into the car when I'm driving from here and then when I'm sleeping from this door. So that's why I decided to put it on this side, but obviously they can go on either side. That's about all for the tour. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below or contact me on social media. I'm pretty active on Twitter and Instagram, which is at Dylan Arvella. I'm posting a few thoughts and photos and whatnot from my trip on those social platforms. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing where I've been and where I'm going, feel free to follow me on there, and thank you for watching.